So I'm driving. I've been sitting here thinking over the past few days of like, what's my next video going to be? And it's kind of a video about videos, I guess, because um, when I look at it, like, I'm not getting a lot of looks and comments and stuff on my videos, but it makes me think like, oh, I better do this to get people to watch, or I better shorten them. Or I've got to like do all these things and to get the attention to serve me and to extract the attention for me, and that's fine too. Like you make your edit, make it a little faster, cut out some of the uhs and hms and stupid shit you say on a video on the first take. And obviously I'm just doing first takes and just letting myself roll tape. So I can see some of the value of that. It can make a better product, and but at the same time, I'm also looking at it and saying, like, is the point of this to make a product? Am I trying to make a product and then like get market share and yeah, I mean, I'd like to make money off of videos and all that stuff, but I'm kind of looking at it right now as if maybe I'm doing this to express myself instead of saying like, let me come to you and make this a thing that you'll eat. Maybe what I'm saying is like, this is my art. And I often think of Bruce Springsteen. And I'm not comparing myself to Bruce Springsteen talent-wise, though I don't know if I'm as talented as Bruce Springsteen or not, but one assumes that guy is pretty darn talented musically as a writer, singer, guitar player, probably producer. And as such, you could say, well, Bruce Springsteen's successful because he's a good musician. Well, there's lots of musicians that are way better than Bruce Springsteen that are penniless. So it's not about how good he is on guitar. There are plenty of classical guitar players that you'll never know their name and that don't have $1 billion music catalog. And then there are songwriters, et cetera. So I can go on about Springsteen. Obviously, his singing isn't beautiful or something like that. So Springsteen was successful partly because of his talent, but partly because of his authenticity. But I think you could make the argument too that Springsteen was and could have been far more rich and far more successful early on if he had been willing to make bubblegum pop numbers and maybe not yell so much and maybe make things real straightforward and maybe not make his songs so dark and maybe not yell on them and playing all these stark bare songs like his whole Nebraska album and other albums could be hard to listen to. They were not coming to the customer. They were demanding that the customer come to them. And as such, eventually he got a loyal following. And obviously it's in part because he was talented. Like some of these songs were catchy, or they evoked feelings that were, shared. And so people would say, hey, I felt like that thing that Springsteen was talking about. And he, 50 years later or so, is a billionaire. But he wasn't like, his first album or two weren't that successful. And then Born to Run was very successful and very good. And then he had these financial troubles with one of his producers and managers, and then he started making that darker stuff because he was angry and sad. And I had a dream about it, a week or two ago, where I woke up telling my sister that the reason why Springsteen yelled so much on Darkness on the Edge of Town was because it was his goddamn album and he can do what he wants with it. And so he was kind of claiming his turf and saying, this is mine. I do what I want with it. And I don't have to play by the rules. And I don't have to, look at that moon in the background. It's way rounder and rainbowier in person. And so the boss is just a great example of somebody that said, I'm not going to compromise my art, and I'm not going to make it in the way you want it to be, so that the record label's happy and so the people buy it and make me zillions of dollars and I become a heartthrob. He became a heartthrob anyway because he was handsome um, and really talented. And also, let's be fair here, Springsteen definitely had a schmaltzy side where he loved the attention and had a lot of charisma. And so it wasn't like Springsteen was so true to himself that he didn't ever give in to parts of him that wanted attention and adoration, and I'm sure he loved getting attention for his sex appeal and all these things, and it doesn't make him good or bad to do any of the above. But through all that, he was true to his vision. And if you listen to some of those songs, he yells and screeches, and it's not beautiful always, but it's real. And I guess what I'm trying to say with my videos, these aren't like Springsteen songs in lots of ways. But in some sense, like maybe I don't have time right now for the editing, and I'm sure I could make time for that editing, and I guess I could write a better outline and all this stuff, but I guess what I'm saying is like, this is me. Like, this is me, and this is what I think. This is unvarnished, and you don't have to sit and watch and not do anything else, but if you, want some insights, you could turn it on during your drive to work. Maybe your drive to work's a half an hour and you could hear one of my videos, but maybe not. And I'm not trying to talk anyone into really like following me so much, as I guess what I'm saying is, if someone does, or if I get 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 subscribers one day, I don't want it to be because it's polished and because it wows people or I want it to be about the substance, and maybe I'll get better at these. And maybe not, maybe I'll stop doing them, but I write on Substack and haven't gotten a huge following on that either. And I don't post all the time, and I have similar kind of complaints when I look at Substack and when I respond, or when I see what people are saying. Here's what I'm doing that's getting me so many subscribers and paid subscribers, and those are things that I want. But yet I'm at this place where I feel like, but I don't want to do that in order to I don't want to do what it takes to get the subscribers and paid subscribers and the fan base for its sake. Like, I'm not trying to follow some formula that manipulates you, the listener, reader, viewer, into doing what I want for me. This is about me sharing my opinions. I also happen to want to get paid for this. Heck yes. For the Substack thing, or get enough subscribers on here that, you get monetized and all that good stuff. Like, yes, sounds good to me. But yet I don't want to do it in a way that is the goal. The goal of this is to actually be real. And I'm walking around the neighborhood where I live and being real, and I watch these videos of mine and I say, I like that. Sometimes it's long, and sometimes I say too much, and it's dark. So what? Deal with it. Like, we have such a poor attention span that we have to have great artwork and imagery and pictures and videography and editing and all these things, and I'm not saying that you, the viewer, aren't worth it, or that my works aren't worth it. I guess what I'm saying right now is that for whatever reasons, good or bad or indifferent in my life, it's taking all that I have to do this. And that's enough for me right now, is to say, like, here's where I really am. Here's what I really think. Here's what I think about this political thing, or about art, or about music, or sports, or philosophy, or life, or women and men, and America, whatever it is. And to me, it's more important to just give that to you in an undigested, unformatted, real thing. Just say, here it is. And if that doesn't get me all those subscribers, I guess maybe I'll have to deal with that. And I guess I like this stream of consciousness format because everybody else seems to be doing something so glitzy and so slick that it's designed to keep you here watching, and designed to hook you into liking them and supporting them. But what I want you to see is just me. Like, this is just me walking around my neighborhood. You could turn the screen part off, or do your dishes, or do your drive, or walk your dog, or do scales on your guitar, or push-ups, or yoga, or whatever it is, and have what I'm saying be a companion to you and make you think about something that seems so obvious that there's nothing to think about. And hopefully what I'm bringing across is that no, there's more to it, because we're so checked out. And I'm so checked out. We're all so checked out. We're all, it's like, go to work and do these things, and so we can barely survive, get laid, get a retirement, get high, get some sun, do the family things we have to do, and do that for a long time so we can barely retire, and get old and die gracefully, or get famous, or so other people think we're cool on social media, and think all the things you're supposed to think, and do all the things you're supposed to do. And I'm just finding that so false. And as I'm watching my father get old faster than I'd like, and seeing myself in him, I'm saying, gosh, what in the world are we doing here? So I don't need to, like, go home and make this slick video and wow and dazzle. That'd be cool too. But I guess what I hope is that the insights are dazzling enough, and that the actual realness of it, the authenticity, is enough to make somebody say, hey, this is cool. I know this person isn't lying to me, or this person isn't trying to trick me into buying something, and he's just walking out talking about what's going on in the world, what's going on in his mind, and maybe that has value, maybe that has nuance, or everybody else is doing something else, so this is what I'm doing. And I think this gets into some deeper philosophical questions about what's the purpose of art. And this isn't typical art. You know, you think of a song as art, or a painting as art. But I think sharing my philosophical perspective is art. And I guess I find it challenging, or gross, or whatever it is, to try and make my art for money. I really keep going back to saying this. I really want that money. I really want to get rich off of Substack. And I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to do what it takes to get rich off this. And that's not even saying work. I'm not saying I wouldn't ever start editing, or, you know, doing good art on it, or speeding it up, or whatever. You know, those are things, skills that I could learn, and I'm not against learning. But I guess I feel like so much of it is so inauthentic, and just trying to be catchy and stuff, that to me that just feels strange and feels abnormal, and feels like I'm trying to extract something from people. And that those endeavors, all that editing stuff, all that cuteness and slickness, seems like it's designed to make me something. Like that I'm taking something. The point is to take. And maybe I have a jaundiced view of the economy as such, and that I feel like I need to justify my laziness or whatever it is. But it seems like the point is to make this so slick that you want to buy this thing that I'm selling. And maybe I've got a problem with selling, even though my father and his father were salesmen when my father was working and when my grandfather was alive. And so it feels forced and it feels fake to do it that way.